In the heart of the Iberian Peninsula, where the Tagus River winds through the city of Talavera de la Reina, stands a towering Gothic cathedral, a sentinel of the centuries and keeper of unfathomable secrets. This masterpiece of medieval architecture, with its soaring arches and stained glass windows depicting tales of faith and redemption, also served as the stage for a mystery that still sends shivers down the spines of those who hear it. This is the tale of the Cats of Talavera, a story where the supernatural, superstition, and the inexplicable intertwine in a narrative that has defied the passage of time. It all began in the 15th century when the city was a thriving hub of commerce and religion. Talavera prospered, but it was not spared from the misfortunes of the era. Among the most devastating was a plague of rats that had infiltrated every corner of the city. These rodents spared nothing. They infested granaries, devoured food stores, and destroyed invaluable objects. But most alarmingly, they had even invaded the cathedral, desecrating a place the townspeople considered sacred. The cathedral's monks did everything in their power to combat this invasion. They tried elaborate traps, carefully concocted poisons, prayers, and even exorcisms, but nothing worked. The rat infestation was so ferocious that some began to whisper that it was unnatural. Perhaps divine punishment, or, worse, a curse upon the cathedral. Desperation grew with each passing day. It was then that a young monk, known as Brother Tomas, proposed an unusual and risky solution. His idea was to fill the cathedral with cats, natural hunters that could eliminate the rats once and for all. Although many doubted its effectiveness, the abbot eventually gave his consent. After all, no other solution had worked, and they were willing to try anything. Soon, the monks began capturing cats from the streets of Talavera. It didn't matter their size, color, or age. Any cat they found was brought to the cathedral. In no time, the place was teeming with felines. Their agile movements and piercing gazes became a constant presence in the monks' daily lives. To everyone's surprise, the cats did exactly what was expected of them. They hunted rats with ruthless efficiency. Within weeks, the cathedral was virtually free of rodents. However, what seemed like a happy ending was only the beginning of a new and disturbing chapter. Though the rats had vanished, the cats showed no intention of leaving. On the contrary, they began to behave strangely, gathering in groups in the cathedral's dark corners, as if holding some kind of secret assembly. Their meows, once simple and familiar, began to sound like human laments, almost as if they were articulating words. At first, the monks dismissed these observations as mere imaginings, but they soon realized something was amiss. One particularly cold night, a monk claimed to have heard a strange chant coming from the crypts below. Intrigued and frightened, he decided to investigate. Armed with a candle and a crucifix, he descended into the cathedral's depths. What he found there froze him in terror. In the crypt's center, under the dim candlelight, dozens of cats were gathered in a circle. Their eyes glowed like embers, and at the center lay a dead mouse. The cats meowed in unison, and the sound echoed off the stone walls, forming what seemed to be a chant in Latin. The monk backed away, horrified, but in his panic he stumbled and fell to the ground. The cats turned to him in unison, their eyes piercing him like daggers. That night, the monk disappeared. The next morning, all they found was his rosary, carefully placed on the central tombstone of the crypt. The news spread quickly, and fear began to grip the people of Talavera. The monks tried to maintain calm, but they could not ignore the growing evidence that something supernatural was happening. The cats seemed to multiply uncontrollably. There were more felines than they had ever captured, and some swore they had seen them in impossible places, on the cathedral's towers or in locked rooms. The situation became unbearable, and the abbot decided it was time to take drastic measures. A massive cat hunt was organized. The monks, armed with crosses, holy water, and unwavering resolve, began eliminating the felines. But every cat they captured or killed seemed to be replaced by two more. Then, the unexpected happened. One night, a devastating fire broke out in the cathedral. The flames spread rapidly, consuming pews, tapestries, and part of the historical archives. The stained glass windows shattered, casting bursts of color across the city. Strangely, no monk was harmed, and when the fire was extinguished, the cats were gone. It was as if they had never been there. The cathedral was rebuilt over time, but the story of the cats remained etched in Talavera's memory. To this day, some claim that if you visit the cathedral on a quiet night, you can hear faint meows echoing from the crypts. Some even say they've seen glowing eyes watching them from the shadows. What were those cats? Mere animals, guardians of an ancient secret, or manifestations of something far darker? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain. In Talavera Cathedral, the shadows are never truly empty. And now, dear viewer, I invite you to ponder this story. What do you think really happened? Could the cats have been tied to something greater, something more terrifying? Share your thoughts in the comments, spread this story with other mystery lovers, and don't forget to subscribe to uncover more spine-chilling tales like this one. History is full of secrets, some darker than we could ever imagine.